So the first thing we have to do is a list of rooms, the number of people that we have in each room, and then we need like a schedule of that room. Well, the schedule I can tell you right now. If you go to that building at the opening time, the number of people is 0 or 1. The person that opened the building. If you go there at 10 a.m., the number of people is either 0 or 1. If you go there at 12 at noon, the number of people will be either 0 or 1. And if you go there at 6 p.m., the number of people will be 0 or 1. Okay, so it's always empty. It's too bad, but people are not aware that we have an art gallery there. But we are going to assume that this is like because sometimes we have events and the events are announced when there's an exhibition or the art students exhibit their work there. So we can have different people. So we're going to do this for 2 days, 1 day in winter, 1 day in summer. And we're going to assume that those are busy days in which we have events, we have classes, and we have people working on the workshops, okay? So that's what the main gallery and the main lobby will be almost always empty, but we cannot design a system for a building that it's always empty. So it doesn't make sense. We have to design a system for a full occupancy day in winter and summer. So first, here we have the spaces, the rooms, we have number of people, we have the schedule. And so for the number of people, let's look at this, how many rooms? We have the gallery, we have the lobby, we have this meeting room. Meeting room, then this. We have the kitchen. We're not considering a kitchen. We consider this office. Then this director office. This workroom. Then the collection storage. Receiving, exhibit workshop, and here we have the storage, and here we have an electrical room, the mechanical room, and the toilets. Okay, so this wing, we consider that it's not heated. Okay, we can have here. Okay, so we can add first another line, and we can have here the storage, the mechanical rooms, and the toilets or the restrooms. So the first thing is heated or non-heated. So that's the first thing or the first decision that we have to do. The art gallery, it's a heated room. The lobby, it's heated. The meeting room, it's heated. So basically all these elements are heated except the storage that it's non-heated. And then like this. Okay, because we are not calculating any heating or cooling systems for the storage, the mechanical rooms. Well, the storage in an art gallery, I told you before that it can be different, because if we have here works of art on that storage, we might need specific temperature and relative humidity. But in any other building, when we have the storage, we don't know that, and we don't have information about. Probably we will need specific system for the storage. Yeah, but we're not going to do that. We're going to just design regular spaces like an art gallery, a lobby, and then a meeting room. If you go there, I think there are like around 50 to 20 people in this meeting room. And then we have offices, workshops, and all that stuff. Okay, so now the big question. What is the number of people that we have in the art gallery? It depends. I told you, if you go now, 0. If you go in a couple of hours, 0. If you go at 6 p.m., 0. But probably if you go next week, when the art students exhibit their work, it will be full of people. So what is the maximum occupancy that we can have in that art gallery? Well, we need some sources of information. So what are the sources that we can find here? In Reddit, I'm going to open the art gallery template. But even if we don't have Reddit, I can Google AshRai. It's always the so everything. It's AshRai. It's the American Society of Heating, whatever architectures and engineers. Okay, so this is for heating, cooling, and ventilation. So this is like the Bible of heat of mechanical systems. Everything has to be related to the AshRai. And well, if we look at the AshRai occupancy tables, I'm sure, or ventilation requirements. Okay, I'm going to open both. I'm going to open these ventilation requirements. Ventilation for acceptable indoor air quality. And here we have a PDF. I can't open the PDF. I accept. No, I can't. Okay, so here we have different facilities. This is the requirement. I told you that we were working with, by default, we were working with 20 CFM per person. Well, here we have different options. We have 10, we have 7.5. Okay, so 20, it's a good, I always use 20 because it's an easy number to remember, but well, we have correctional facilities. It is not the case. Educational facilities, okay, that can be the thing. So we have 10. Okay, we can use 10 or we can use 20. Here we have restaurant. Okay, so we have here other office buildings, miscellaneous spaces. We have libraries. Retail, sports and entertainment. Okay, so if you use some of those tables, that's fine. So if you find an art gallery in one of those tables, that's fine. So this is the CFM per person. Okay, so this is something that probably we can have here, CFM per person. By default, you can use 20 because this is always the minimum CFM per person that we can have. So if 10 is the minimum, 20 is fine, 15, 20 is fine. Okay. But what I was looking for was the AshRai occupancy density. Let's look at this. Okay, so here we have different tables. We have either per space or feet square per person or meter square per person. Okay, so here we have different things. We have lobbies. I don't know if we have art galleries here. Probably we don't. Okay, but in classrooms, look at this. We don't have occupancy per space. We have this 43 square feet per person. But well, that depends on the number of seats that we have in the classroom. Okay, so what kind of do we have lobbies? We do have a lobby. Here we have different lobbies, and depending on what lobby for school, 0. Doesn't make sense. For a hotel, we have 33 square feet per person. For an office building, we have 100 square feet per person. Well, we don't find the lobby for an art gallery. We can try to find more tables. But this is in square meters, so this is not the right one. Let me see this one. No, it's square meters. Okay. So here we have auditorium, conference meeting rooms, cafeterias, and this is the density of persons per 1,000 square feet. Okay, so in an auditorium, we don't have an auditorium, meeting room, office space. Okay. So these are the things that we have here. So if we don't find art galleries, then we can always go to Revit. And in Revit, if you open the plan view, if I switch this into architecture, then I go to view, plan views, level 0. There's something that you can do. You can analyze and you can insert spaces. Okay, so if you insert a space here, now if we want to see that space, that's the art gallery, and that will be the lobby. Okay. The space is there. If you want to see it, we can go to visibility graphics, and we can go to spaces. And here we have to activate interior and reference. We do this, and now we have the space. So what's the information that we get with the space? First, we have the area. I hope. Go to view, plan views, floor plans, and here you have a list of plan views. So if we select that space, we have the area here. Okay, so this art gallery has like 4,000 square feet. The lobby has like 1,000 square feet. Okay, so here, if you select the space, you have the area of the space. And then here you have some information about, people. Okay, so if you edit people here, by space, here we have the number of people, by space type specified, but where can we find this information? Space type, it's a building. Okay, so here we have space type, building, and here we have a lot of elements. Okay, so here we have lobbies, a lobby auditorium, a lobby hotel, a motion picture theater, performing arts theater, a post office, religious buildings. So this number 7 square feet per person. Okay, so that's the area per person. This is not realistic. We can't have 7 square feet per person. 7 square feet is 2 feet by 3 feet. So if we have 1 person per 7 square feet, that means that we are all like this. Maybe that happens once, but it's not something realistic. So I think this lobby hotel, it's about 30 square feet per person. There was something in one of those tables. Yes?
On the On the ASHRAE thing that you found, the ventilation for air quality, on one of the last pages, I think it's page 7, it has the occupation density.
Okay, so what's the occupation density of a lobby?
40 people per 1,000 square feet.
40 people per 1,000 square feet. So it's 4 people per 100 square feet. So now, how many square feet we have per people? If we have 100 square feet per 4 people, we have 25 square feet per people per person. Yeah. So here we have in one of these lobbies, we had like 30. Okay, that makes sense. 30, 45. Anyway, let's say 30. Okay. So if we have a lobby and our lobby is well, if our lobby is 1,000 square feet, it was 1,000 something, and we can assume that in our lobby we have around 40 people. Or you can have 40 or 50 or 35 or 41. I don't mind, okay? But around this. So in our lobby, we can have 40 people. What about the art gallery? We don't have any information about the art gallery. Let's see if Revit can give us that. Look at this. Here we have 35, 35, 40. It's something similar. So let me see. We have art galleries here. We have exhibit space. Okay, so we have the exhibition space, and this is around 20 square feet per person. So if we have 20 square feet per person, and we have 4,000, because the area of this is 4,000. No, that's the volume, the square foot, it's 4,000 square feet. So let me do the math. If we have 20 square feet per person, and we have 4,000 square feet. Now, how many people? How many people? Hmm? 200. Everybody agrees. 200. Okay, so we can have around 200 people. So when there is an event, can we have 200 people there? Probably. Then we have safety considerations about fire. So it depends on how far we are from the fire exits. This is just a 1-floor building. We have an exit here. We have a lobby, so we can exit that building easily. So yeah, I think I would use, I'm going to use 150 just to get that. You can use 150, 130, 120, 202. I don't mind, but it has to be something feasible like that. Then what about the meeting room? So for that meeting room, I told you that there is, I didn't count it, but can be around 15 seats there, maybe. And then what about the office? If we have an office suite here, how many people we can have here? Maximum 4. For the director's office, I don't think we can have 20 people in the director's office. Let's say that we have 2. And then for this workroom, how many people? Maybe 5. This collection storage, maybe 1, because it's a grader or someone working here that not a lot of people. And then in this receiving area, let's say that we can have 5 people. And then exhibit workshop, I know 5, okay. And then for the storage and the restrooms, we don't have people, or we are not considering this because it's a non-heated system. Then now we have the schedule. Okay, so for the schedule, I think I'm going to do something different. So imagine that I type here the schedule, and here I have the gallery. Then I have the lobby. And then I have the rest of spaces. Okay, why am I doing this? Well, because I can assume that the rest of the spaces are used during the day, and then if there's an event, events are usually in the evening. Okay, so around 5 or 6 p.m. They have an event, they have the main exhibition. And when there's an event, people are not, the director is not in his office, and there is not a classroom in this little classroom there. So that schedule can be from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so we have 24 hours. This is 1 day. So how many people do we have in the gallery at 0, at midnight? 0. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or at 8 a.m. I don't know. It wasn't open at 8 a.m. So let's assume that they open at 9. So at 9, maybe the gallery is open, and there might be a couple of people there visiting the gallery, and we can have 2 people. And then until the event starts, and then if the event starts at 5 p.m. So I assume that I have 2 people, and then here I can have 150, and the event lasts like 3 hours, 150, and then there are 5 people just to clean up or whatever, and then the building is locked again. So this can be a feasible schedule for the art gallery. If you think that there are more people visiting the exhibitions during the day, be my guest, you can add more people here. What about the lobby? So in the lobby, for sure, it's when the building is locked, the lobby is locked. And then if it's open, there's always something or someone, because the lobby is like so there's always someone in the lobby controlling who's entering. So we can have 1 people here. And then when before the event, if there's a refreshment or something like that, we might have a full occupancy in the lobby, so we can have 40 and 40. And then when the event's there, so maybe there are 150 people in the gallery, and there are like 10 people in the lobby. Then the event finishes, and then we have 0. Okay. And what about the rest of the spaces? No occupancy. Until 9 a.m. Then I don't know if we have what we have here. We have the office, the director, the work group. How many people? No, we have 6, 11, 12, like 20, 22 people. So can I assume that over during the morning we have 20 people here in the rest of the spaces? And then when the exhibition starts, we have 0. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to assume this, and then I'm going to add all these. So total people I'm going to add and would use sum. All this. And then I'm going to drag this down. Is it, no, I made a mistake here. Okay, I don't have to select the schedule. This is I6. Yep. So the total of people is the people that we have in the gallery, in the lobby, and the rest of the spaces. And then we have CFM per person. Well, if we pay attention to the ASHRAE, CFM per person, we have classrooms 10. 10 is the minimum. I wouldn't use less than 10. If we want to be accurate here, we can have like 10 CFM per person. But when we have the event, I would say 20, because we might need more ventilation during the event, and then 10 again. Okay, so what's next? Here I need the total CFM. So for this total CFM, this has to be equals the number of people times CFM per person, and drag it down. And this is the CFM. Okay, so this is 23 times 10. And when we have the full occupancy, we have 160 times 20. Okay. So this is 1 day in terms of occupancy. Then I should open the Excel file. Where is it? Yes, this one, the Excel file that we have been using all these days. So I download it. Okay. And now what I can do directly, I can copy and paste the total CFM here, or I can copy the number of people in the total CFM. I can do that. So if I copy, well, this, Control C, then I copy all these values here where the total CFM are, Control V. And as you can see, there is something weird because we have 0, -5. Why is that? Because I'm referring to some formulas. If you do this, if you paste options just like as a number, then we have the correct numbers here. Oh, I remember that there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I remember that there were only 23 rows here. There should be 24, but well, it doesn't matter because one of the rows is 0. But so here I have the total CFM. I can always add another row here if I want to do it correctly. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to copy and paste these 2 rows, the total people in the CFM per person. Here. I'm going to paste the values. And then if I want to do it well, I'm going to type here equals this column times that column. This column times this. And now we are referring this is the CFM per person, and here we have the total CFM. Okay, so what else we have to change here in this Excel file? Any clue? Do I have to change the indoor temperature? Well, 70, those are comfort conditions. So I can assume that I always need, when the building is open, when we have someone in the building, I want to keep 70 and 50%. But what about the outdoor temperature? I have to find out the outdoor temperature where? In Keene, New Hampshire. So I gave you a website with different weather stations in the area. So you can go to a day in January and you can paste it here. Or we can use another source that now I think it's better. So I'm going to use PV Watts. The PV Watts calculator, if we enter here in New Hampshire, then you go to the system. This is to calculate the PV array. We're not going to do that. We're going just to go to the PV Watts results. And here we have the monthly and the hourly data. So that's very interesting. And I found out this semester that we can download this from the PV Watts. So we are in Keene, New Hampshire, the longitude, latitude. Okay, so we have all the information here. If you download this, you have a CSV, which is basically another Excel file. Okay, and what we have here, we have the month, the day, and the hour from 0 to 23. Okay, and here in one of these columns, we have the temperature in Celsius. What we have to do is to calculate the temperature in Fahrenheit. So what is the conversion between Celsius to Fahrenheit? Celsius to Fahrenheit. Formula, it's this. It's Celsius times 9 divided by 5 plus 32. I'm going to copy this here. Okay, and this Celsius temperature, I replace this by the Celsius temperature. Sorry, because first I have to type equals, and now replace the Celsius temperature, this cell. So now -2 Celsius is 28 Fahrenheit. And then if I go all the way down, I have the Fahrenheit temperature throughout the year. Okay. So now, what day is the coldest day in winter? We don't know. It might be January the 1st or January the 13th or January whatever. So there's a very useful function here, which is, for example, the minimum. If I okay, so if you type minimum, here we have this function. So among all these numbers, we can find the minimum. So the minimum would be the coldest day. So I'm going to use this function min, and I'm going to select all the values on this column. I have to select all these values. Okay, so the minimum value is negative 11 Fahrenheit. I think this is quite optimistic, but apparently the coldest day that we have in Keene, New Hampshire, throughout the year is negative 11.2 Fahrenheit. So when does it happen? It happens. I'm going to find negative 11.2. Can't find it.
Find all.
Sorry?
Find all.
It's weird. And what about the negative 11? Okay. So negative 11, I have a negative 11, but here in Celsius, but I want to find negative 11 in Fahrenheit. Weird. I'm going to close and I want to find only this column.
Because it's technically not that number. It's,
Yeah, I think it's because there's a formula there.
yeah.
Okay, so if we want to do this, I copy, I paste as numbers, okay? And then I find again a negative 11. Yes, this is negative 11, but I want to find another one. Okay, there you go. So it's on January. The first column is the month, January, and this is the day, January the 3rd, apparently is the coldest day in these records. So January the 3rd starts here, and we have 23 values. So I can select all these values until 23 p.m. January the 3rd. Okay, so I select all these. And now I go back to this cell and the outdoor temperature in Fahrenheit is that. Okay, you can find these values so you have different sources. I found this PV watts, and I think it's good because I have an Excel file and I don't have to type all the values, because from the website I couldn't select the columns and type it directly. So with this one, I have an Excel file and I can select all these values. The only thing is that I have to choose the coldest day. Well, the coldest day should be a day in January. So, well, but there are days in which we are in the 20s or 30s, but those days we have negative numbers. Yeah, so I should select something that it's clearly the coldest day in January. Okay, so now I do have all the information that I need. Do I have relative humidity? It would be great if I had relative humidity in, but we don't. It's too bad. We don't have a relative humidity in this website in PV Watts. We have things about the solar radiation, which is useful, but we don't have relative humidity. Anyway, relative humidity is not as important, so we can assume that the relative humidity will value that number. Okay. But we do have the temperature. We do have the outdoor temperature, and it's quite cold. So here, what do we have? We have the energy in BTUs. Look at the graphic. Okay, so now the schedule is different. We have low occupancy in the morning, and then we have a high occupancy during the event. So that's the number that. Yeah, so this is what I need. I need to see the profile. This is the outdoor temperature. So this gray line is the outdoor temperature. Is between 20 Fahrenheit and negative 11 Fahrenheit. So it's quite cold. And then this is my schedule. Okay, so I don't request a heating system here, or request less heat here in the morning and more heat here in the afternoon. And are we done with this? Well, not yet, because this is the old version of this Excel file. And now I have to do more, because this is just the basic energy that we need. What was next? I needed a heat recovery. Remember that I need a heat recovery here. That's mandatory, especially when we are in public or in these kind of buildings, not single family houses, but when we are in a commercial building, we need a heat recovery. And here we have the heat recovery efficiency. That can be 60 or 70 or 65 or something like that. Okay, so that's the heat recovery. And now we need the energy with heat recovery. The energy with heat recovery, remember that this formula was equals the energy without the heat recovery times 1 minus this value, the efficiency of the heat recovery. So I do this, and there you go. So here we have values of energy. So if my consumption was 25,000, now it's 14,000. Change the format. No. It's 1 minus this divided by 100, because this is percentage. Okay, so this formula is that cell times 1 minus this number, the efficiency, divided by 100. So this is the energy consumption. This is 25,000 and this is 10,000. Makes sense. So this should be 40% of this value, or 40. The heat recovery is 60. What I consume is 40% of this value. Okay, so this is energy with heat recovery. And what did we do on Tuesday? We took into account the COP, coefficient of performance. Okay, so that coefficient of performance, I told you, it's the ratio between the thermal energy, this is the thermal energy, and the electricity. Because what we are going to do in this assignment is to take into account, again, the electrical circuits. Okay, but before doing this, we can do it between BTU and COP and kilowatt hours. But I'm going to insert another row. And here I want energy with heat recovery, but I want to change units. I want to change this to kilowatt. hours. Okay. So, why? I wish there were only one unit, but we have BTUs, so you might need the BTU value. But if we are talking about electricity, we need the kilowatt hour value. So now we need to convert BTU to kilowatt hour. And this is this is weird number, 0.000293. I'm going to copy this value. And this energy with heat recovery in kilowatt hours equals the energy in BTUs times this conversion factor. And then we go all the way down. Okay, why do they charge us in kilowatt hours? Because if you pay 40 what? Kilowatt hours. Okay, that's fine, 40. But if you pay 138,646, it's like, wow, 138,000. I don't have enough money to pay that. Well, it's exactly the same. Okay, but this number is scary, and kilowatt hours are numbers that 40, 39. That yeah, can pay that. So that's the energy in kilowatt hours, and now I need the COP. So for the COP, I would need information about the system. If you remember, on Tuesday, I typed like Daikin heat pump COP, and we should have information about this. So it's cooling. Daikin. Okay, so in this case, we have this coefficient of performance of 4.56 according to this brand. You can use Daikin, Mitsubishi, Well, there are thousands of brands for heat pumps or Carrier, it's a French one. But anyway, we need one information. We have this seasonal energy efficiency ratio. So everything is the same, but with different units. I like COP because you compare kilowatt hours and kilowatt hours. You don't compare BTUs and kilowatt hours or whatever. But if you convert all these numbers, they are all related with the conversion factor. Okay? But we're going to use this COP 4.56, or if you find another, the higher, the better. So if you find something with 6, it's better than 4, 7, it's better than 6. So the highest the number, the better. But you have to show me that it comes from a catalog. Okay, so if you want to do a research on different heat pumps and you find different COPs, that would be great. But so far, we're going to use this one, 4.56. Okay, so we have the same. This is not 100% true, because the COP depends on the outdoor temperature. Okay, so here we have different outdoor temperatures. So probably that COP would be 4.5, or then 4.3, probably 4.7. Okay. So it would depend on the outdoor temperature, but anyway, we can have this as the average, and I think we're good. What's next? We have to divide. This is the real energy consumption. In kilowatt hours. Real electric energy. Okay, so that's the, this is the thermal energy in BTUs. when we have heat recovery, we recover part of this energy. Then if we want the electricity, we have to divide by the COP. Yes, so the real electricity is the value, the energy with heat recovery in kilowatt hours divided by the COP. And this is it. And I'm going to use the same format. Okay. So what's the total? If I copy this here, this is not BTU, this is kilowatt hour. And this, I have to add up all this. Okay. So on that specific day, I'm consuming 32 kilowatt hours on that day. Then if I do this for 365 days, the thing is that the temperature will change, okay? But imagine that we copy this table 365 times, and then we insert here the outdoor temperature throughout the year, so we can find this, or we can have these values 365 days. But what we're doing here is just the coldest day on winter. So that would be our energy consumption, the actual energy consumption. This is the thermal energy consumption. So that means that if we are heating up this with a boiler that burns fuel, probably we will use kilowatt hours or therms. So we have to use a boiler with the maximum value of this. Okay, so what's the maximum value of this list? It's 346,000 BTUs. Okay, so if we have to find a boiler, in BTUs, okay, so this boiler, we have 180,000 BTUs. Is it enough? No, because I need 340,000. Okay, so we have to find boilers that this is 103. Okay, this is 383 kBTUs. Okay, so this will work. This is a high efficiency natural gas boiler, and the maximum power is 383 k's, so it's 383,000, and it has to be more than 346. So we can use this boiler. And it costs $8,770. Okay, so this is how it works. We calculate the maximum heat load, and then I need a boiler that provides me with, this is 379, I need 340 something, so that works. This is 364, so that would work, and it's $100 cheaper. Good. Okay, but this is first we calculate the loads, and then we decide the system. So I have to select the maximum power that I have here, and then I have to go to a catalog, and I have to select a system or a boiler that has at least that number. I'm sure that we can find boilers with 5,000 Ks, but over sizing the systems, it doesn't work well either. So it has to be slightly above the actual consumption or the maximum power that we request. So if I request this power on the coldest day of the year, probably I don't need anything else. Okay, that's why I'm doing these calculations for the coldest day. If I want to select an electric heat pump, that electric heat pump should be more than 8 kilowatts. So if I in kilowatts, okay, so this is 3.6 kilowatts, it's not enough. We will have to select a heat pump. This is 4,000 watts, 4 kilowatts, it's not enough. Okay, so I have to find something with, okay, this is 10 kilowatts, that would be good. If this is 10 kilowatts, and it's an electric furnace, no, I want a heat pump. No, those are electric furnace, I don't want this. Well, we have to, this is Mitsubishi, 5,000, it's not enough. Okay, this is 15,000 watts, 15 kilowatts, it's more than 8.9, yeah, so 15, it's good. 10 would be good, 12 would be good, but if we had 10, if we find something with 15, okay, fine. Okay, so now you have to do the same, but in the summer. So in summer, you will have to find the hottest day. And what is the hottest day? Instead of maximum, instead of minimum, I want to find the maximum. Here you have max. Okay, so we have to select all these numbers here. We go. So I have all these numbers, and the maximum number is, oh, I select this, the total that I have to. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the maximum temperature is 89, and where can I find 89? Let's find in this column. I need 89. Find next. Okay, so this is 89. What day does it happen? It happens on August the 31st. Okay, so August the 31st would be the hottest day according to this. So I have to select 24 values here, paste it on the Excel file. This is for winter. So what you have to do is to save this one, and then save as the same Excel file, but for summer. Okay, so we need two different Excel files for winter and summer, and then you have to take to paste the outdoor temperatures here, and then the graphic will change and all that stuff. Okay, so if we assume that there is an event in summer, and it makes sense because August the 31st, the campus is open. So I'm sure that there will be an event here to opening the course or there. And in January, I know, I'm sure that when we come back or late December for the art exhibition or the beginning of January to show the works of the previous semester, I'm sure that there's always an event there as well. So we can calculate this for the hottest and for the coldest day. And that's it. So that will be the calculations. Okay, so you have to put that in our report, and then you have to copy and paste the table and the graphics with the hottest day in summer, the coldest day in winter. Then we have to start. Okay, so we have to find what we're going to do for this system or for this building in terms of systems. We have calculated something. Okay, so that's the power of the ventilation system that we're going to place. But now, how do I design this system? I told you that if we have a building like this, we can have an air handling unit for all these small spaces with low occupancy. And then we can have another air handling unit for those spaces with a high occupancy. Because it's very difficult to heat up with the same device an art gallery with 200 people and an office with 2 people there. So the system won't work well because we have requirements for this, for the art gallery, and we have a different requirement for the director's office. So when we have low occupancy spaces and we have high occupancy spaces, we split the system at least into 2 different parts. You visited this building and you know that we have an air handling unit for all the offices there, and then we have other air handling units for those spaces, because here we have classrooms and labs and studios, and that's it. Okay, so this building is divided in that part with the offices, low occupancy, and this part, high occupancy. And so that's why, but this building is very long. So here we need like 2 or 3 more air handling units. And this building is smaller. So I think we need an air handling unit for this and a different air handling unit for that. So let's divide this between the art gallery and then the lobby. And then for the art gallery and the lobby, if we have all the money in the world and a lot of space, I would use an air handling unit for the gallery and a different air handling unit for the lobby. Because, well, when the gallery is full of people, probably the lobby is not full, and the other way around. When the lobby is full, probably the gallery is not. But I think that would be too much. And let's see, that's why I opened the Google Maps. Okay, so that's the roof. Those are not solar collectors, those are skylights for the main exhibition space. There are 2 parts, there are 2 flat roofs here and there. So apparently we don't have anything here. But here between these 2 gable roofs, we have this flat roof area. And here we have things. Okay, so we have, I don't know what this is, but for sure there's some equipment here. It looks like a chiller or an air handling unit. I don't know exactly what this is. But for sure, and it's I think it's a wise decision because they hide all these elements with these 2 gable roofs. So when we are walking, we're not aware that we have things on the roof. Okay, so that's a good decision. And if we are here, okay, so this is the gallery. This is the lobby. With this south curtain wall. It's cloudy, but if there were sun, we would see that this is the south elevation. And can we see? Okay, so the equipment is hidden here. There's a part here with this flat roof, but there's nothing on it, and we don't see machines here. And I think it's good. The problem is that I can't see. Can I go there? Okay. Okay, I can see this from the APN way. So that's the. Oh, okay. This is what I wanted to see. If you zoom in, you see that there's a triangular roof here, and this is open. Okay, so we have louvers here. So probably there will be an air handling unit here because this part go there, and you will see that it's not open, but it's not closed. So go there and you will see that there's some space. So when you see something that it's under the roof, but it doesn't have a, well, it has like louvers, so the air can go through it. This is probably because we have equipment here. So there will be a mechanical room on the second floor, probably here. And then there is some equipment here on this part, on this flat roof, that it's hidden. Okay, so this is the roof that I told you. So probably this is like a mechanical room, an indoor mechanical room that it's on the second floor in this part. And then we have this for the outdoor equipment. So that we don't see, if you remember our beloved PDS building, those were we have one air handling unit inside this roof. We have 1, 2, and I think there's another one there. Okay, so there were like 3 different air handling units. Here we have the heat pumps, and in other roofs, you will find a lot of equipment always on the roof. Okay, here this is a chiller probably. Here we have heat pumps. So all these roofs they have equipment. So in this building, it's hidden with these gable roofs. Okay, good. So what would I do here? Well, if you go there, this main space of the art gallery, it can be divided into 2 spaces. Okay, when we have this, we need if we have 2 different spaces, we can have the supply here and the return there. Because if it's closed, we have supply and we don't have return, and here we have return and we don't have supply. So if in the event that this can be divided into 2 different halls, I think I would need supply and return, or something like that. So I'm going to draw diffusers here. 1, 2, 3. If you go there, you can count them. Okay, I don't know how many, but that would be supply. And I need supply there. It can be 3, 4, I don't mind. Okay. And then I would need a return. So as a rule of thumb, I will have the same number of return diffusers here. And so that would be the return distance here. What's the CFM of each diffuser? Hmm? 20. 20 per person. Okay, let's go back here. So we have the total CFM. The maximum CFM that we have is this. When we have 160 people here, okay, and 20 CFM, because we can have up to 10, but we decided that the maximum CFM is 20. So the total CFM is 3,200. Okay, if we have 3,200 and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what is the maximum? The maximum airflow through the first diffuser. So we have 300, 2,000 divided by, if I have 6, I will divide this by 6. If I have 8, I will divide this by 8. Okay, but this is calculator. 32 divided by 6. It's like 533 CFM per diffuser. Okay, so each supply in return a diffuser, we would have 533. So all these diffusers, they will have the same CFM as supply and return. Okay, and the same thing in the other hole. What about the lobby? So in the lobby, again, I would need supply and I would need return. How many? I can say that I have 3 supply and 3 return diffusers. So I can paint 1, 2, and 3. Those are return. And I can have 3 supply. 1, 2, and 3. What's the flow that we have in the lobby? Well, in the lobby, I think it was here at the beginning. So in the lobby, I have a maximum of 40 people times 20. Yeah, so we can have like 800. Okay, so 40 people in the lobby times 20 CFM, it can be 800. So each diffuser, if I have 800 divided by 3, so they will be 266. To 66 CFM for supply and 266 for return. Okay, so I think that works well. And now, what can I do? I can collect all these return diffusers in one duct here, and all these return diffusers in one duct here. And we can have a shaft. So at some point, we have to go up to the roof because I will place this air handling unit on the roof. And then for the supply diffusers, I can have like a branch like this, another branch like this. There will be another shaft here. Okay. So that's an option. If I want to, how can I deal with the lobby? Is it, do I extend this here? Well, that's an option. I can extend those branches up to the lobby. So if things are symmetrical, I think they always work better. So for the sake of symmetry, I think I'm going to place two of them. Okay, and now this is not 266. This is 800 divided by 4. So it's 200. So each diffuser is 200. And then probably I can extend this to that place. And then I can extend this here. Okay, that makes sense. What about the roof plan? If this is the roof plan, I'm going to need the air handling unit here. And the air handling unit, I have to connect the supply. I don't know if I have the return or the supply here, and then I have the return of the supply there. So I need an air handling unit like that. Then what else? I need either a chiller or a heat pump. Okay, so this can be the chiller. If this is a chiller, I have to connect water pipes. To the heating coil. And then if there was a boiler in this building, I think the boiler would be on the second floor in that space, because I told you that this is ventilated. So if we have to place a boiler, I will do it here. So I'm going to place a boiler here. And that boiler, I have to connect this to the heating coil from here. So with this, I have solved the heating, cooling, and ventilation system for these two spaces, for the art gallery and the lobby. What about the rest? Well, for the rest, this is the air handling unit, by the way. I think I would need another air handling unit for the rest of the spaces. Okay, so I'm going to place another air handling unit here. And that air handling unit, we need the supply from the air handling unit. We need supply for all the spaces. And that's quite simple, because I just need, those are such small spaces that I only need one supply diffuser for each space. Okay. And then I would need a return diffuser for that space. So I need a return. Then I have to connect this to the air handling unit. So on the same space, I need supply and return. and then connect it to the air handling unit. And that, I think I would use this space here, this second floor mechanical room for the boiler and the air handling unit. And those spaces that I have here, they don't need ventilation system because these are the storage and the restrooms, so we don't need a ventilation system. We do need an exhaust for the restrooms, so we will need exhaust pipe here. Awesome. And kind of. Well, what about this air handling unit? For small spaces, I think I'm going to have the air handling unit with the heat recovery only for the ventilation, but I'm going to have like a split system in each space. The same thing I had in the other assignment. I would have split systems on all these spaces, these small rooms or whatever. And I need to connect this to heat pumps. So the heat pumps will be here. So I need as many heat pumps as split indoor split units I have. 1, 2, put everything on one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I will need 6 heat pumps here. And those heat pumps connected to the split systems can give me, if I need, with the heat recovery, most of the days I can get by with the heat recovery here and I have ventilation. But if I request some more heating or some more cooling, I can use the heat pumps with the splits. I think that would be the best solution. What is the schematic view? Very schematic views. I have 2 air handling units. I have a boiler. And the chiller. Okay. So I have a boiler and the chiller connected to the heating coil here. Supply and return. I have a chiller connected to that air handling unit. Supply and return. Okay. Then I need ducts. Supply and return. And this is the art gallery in the lobby. And for the small spaces, I need just supply to different spaces. And then I need return. Right. Return to the air conditioning unit. And I need those. Heat pumps. That's the outdoor unit. This is the indoor unit. And we need the refrigerant fluid. Again, this is like in. Okay, so that's the schematic view. So this is for the gallery and lobby. And this is for the office. Make it nicer, but that's the idea. I need a slide with this schematic view, and this should be the ready file. So, but there's nothing here that you haven't done in the other assignment, and this is much easier because we only have one floor. We have 2 floors, and we have fewer diffusers. So if you have done the other assignment, then you should be able to do this.